Today we're going to be running through 10 different ways that you can get more matches on any dating app as a guy.
Let me explain it to you so you'll understand.
Now look, I've been doing this for a long time and it amazes me that guys come to me, they say they've been doing research, they've been trying to find ways to get more matches, and the rookie errors that they're making on their dating bios and photos and profile just blows my mind. But the good news is there's some very simple things that you can do to start getting more matches literally in a couple of hours from now. I've seen it firsthand with a lot of my clients that implement some of these very basic changes and they start getting more matches almost instantly. We're going to jump into those in a second, but first, if you're new to the channel, my name's Steve from dudehack.com. I'm an online dating coach for men, and at Dude Hack we help guys improve their online dating game in every facet you can imagine. So if that's something that interests you, definitely consider subscribing. But today is all about getting more matches regardless on what dating app you're using, whether that's Hinge, Bumble, or Tinder, or even bloody eHarmony. So let's jump straight into that right now. Number one is all about your photos. Now, a lot of the guys I talk to, it's very obvious that the main thing they're focusing on when it comes to their online dating photos is just looking good.
Yeah, I look good.
And yes, while this is important, you obviously want to try to look your best when it comes to your online dating photos. I personally think the main thing that you should focus on is what your match will feel when she looks at them. So what I mean by that is, are your photos telling a bit of a story about who you are? Is there some fun, interesting stuff going in the background? Is one of them particularly funny? Are you showing a lifestyle that your match can imagine herself being a part of? If not, reassess this. Rather than just trying to pull like pouty model good looks, you want to focus on your match feeling something when they're looking at your photos, whether that's laughing at one of them, seeing something in the background that intrigues her and she wants to find out a little bit more. Or you've been traveling and going to really interesting places and she can imagine herself being a part of that. That is always going to create a much better first impression than you just like taking a selfie and just trying to look good and show your abs or something. Number two is to include a controversial opinion in your bio. Now look, I'm definitely not talking about like very controversial, like your political leanings or your stance in the current state of feminism or anything like that. I'm talking about something that's like a little bit fun and cheeky, and obviously your match knows that it's not something to be taken too seriously. But at the same time, it creates a little bit of that sort of fun tension, a little bit of teasing between you, and maybe your match will swipe right just to tell you why you're wrong, but just like in a funny bantery way. So for example, it could be like a TV show, a movie that everybody loves and you're not a big fan on, a band, a food, something like that. Just don't add in that pineapple doesn't belong on pizzas. That's so overdone.
I hate this!
And the best way to follow up one of these controversial opinions leads me to number three, and that is to include a call to action in your bio. Now, if you're familiar with marketing, you might understand that a call to action is something that can dramatically increase conversions. And whilst I hate to compare dating to sales, your matches aren't, getting a sale, there are definitely some comparisons. So a call to action is essentially just telling your match to do something in your bio.
You have to do something!
Now, no, we're not being very demanding here. What I'm also mean is going back to the example of having something a little bit controversial, a call to action that you can follow it up with. Swipe right and let me know if you disagree. Or instead of being like every other boring pleb and just saying like adventures and travel, you could say a specific travel destination that you want to go and follow it up with a call to action saying, if you want to come with, swipe right. And something I've even seen is when guys add a call to action in their bio, girls will even start messaging them about that first. So if you don't have a call to action in your bio, definitely put one in. Number four is to stop swiping on everyone. Now, if you have been following Dude Hack for a while, I've been saying this for a long time, and it still amazes me how many guys will just go crazy swiping right on everyone. It's literally the worst thing that you can do on pretty much any dating app out there.
Whatever's going on here, stop it immediately.
That's because all of these dating apps run off an algorithm, and all of them are trying to promote the correct user behavior that they want. Now, obviously they don't want guys just swiping right on absolutely everyone, and then girls match with them, and then, no messages are sent, and the apps just get boring and no one's actually messaging each other. So if you are doing this and you're swiping right on everyone, it might work to start off with, but eventually you are going to be taken down a notch on the algorithm, or worse yet, shadow banned. That's because you're doing the thing that Tinder, Bumble, Hinge does not want you to do. Now look, simply put, it might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but swiping right on more people can lead to less matches. So stop doing this, be way more selective. If you have a high swipe to match ratio, then the algorithm is going to determine you as a much desirable profile, and you're going to be shown to more people and therefore get more matches. Number 5 is to not use just cliche nothing bios. So cliches are like the pleb ones I said before. You love traveling, you love adventures, what you do at school, what you do for work. It's boring. Worse yet is the nothing bios that you have put in zero effort. You're saying something like, ask me to find out. You are so much better off putting something that's funny, something a little bit out there, or completely exaggerated and false, rather than this boring crap that I see all the time that girls are almost getting blind to because it's the same crap when they're swiping left. Number 6 is to use voice notes. Now this one still blows my mind how effective it is. Now some of these apps do allow you to put a little voice memo, say in one of your prompts. I know Hinge does. And I guess this is a tip for some of you when you do actually then get the matches, you can send voice messages. But if you're adding a voice prompt to say, tell a funny story, maybe something where the tone might be a little bit lost in a message, it is amazing the results it can get. Now sometimes I tell this to people and they say to me, well yeah, you've got a pretty deep voice, an Australian accent. If you're traveling, definitely that'll help.
G'day, mate.
But some guys that I work with, they don't have deep voices. They don't have a particularly, interesting accent or anything like that. But something happens with that connection, or I don't really know, but they get messages from girls saying things like, wow, your voice, oh my God, it's so nice.
Okay, talk to me.
And a lot of guys that have never been complimented on their voice before are starting to get these compliments in online dating and getting more matches for it. So I feel like this is almost like a little hack that a lot of people need to try. If you don't have a voice note, give it a go now. Especially if it's something a little bit funny, try to find a prompt that's one of your funny answers. And if you can say it in a funny way, maybe something a little bit self-deprecating to disarm her a little bit. Whatever you want to try, just give it a go. Start trialing a voice note in your prompts. Now, this next one is something I see guys just screwing up all the time. But before we get into that, just a word from today's sponsor. So just a very short break for today's sponsor, and today's sponsor is me. Now the channel is supported 100% by just myself. We don't have any external sponsors. With that being said, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is Hook Her Heart. I've developed this groundbreaking new course which teaches you everything you would need to know about online dating from A to Z. It's called Hook Her Heart, the modern gentleman's guide to attracting, entertaining, and retaining high quality women. In my new jam-packed 5-module course, I'll walk you through some of the most vital concepts, like how to build a good physique, exactly what to eat, whether you want to lean up or gain some muscle, my methodology for upgrading your look from grooming to a whole wardrobe transformation, a fresh overhaul to an attractive, intriguing dating profile, my exact process for optimizing your pictures to get way more matches, my best openers that get interested responses from women, live breakdowns of magnetic conversations, my core methodologies, and the 6 pillars of conversation, what to do on the date to give her an amazing experience, and the smoothest, most natural way to escalate towards your end goal, plus so much more inside the course, and 3 awesome bonuses that you'll get for free if you sign up before my special introductory price expires. So if you are serious about transforming your dating life and you want to learn literally everything you would ever need to, well then click the link down in the description below so you can get the special introductory price offer that's not going to be available for long. Now that's it for today's sponsor. Back to the video. Now next is to have a good variety of photos.
Oh my God, what the?
Now for the first point, I said how you should focus on photos that make her feel something. And I talked about different photos that you can have in your profile, ones that are funny, ones that are showing a bit of your life and things like that. Now, I don't even mean a variety like that. Now, yes, that is the ideal, but what I mean is making sure that you're not using photos all from the same day or wearing similar clothes or from the same event. This is just so low effort, and I see guys that maybe have 2 different events with 2 sets of clothing, and that's all their photos. Or worse yet, they've gone and taken one photo shoot around the house, they're wearing the same thing, and all of their photos are from that day. This just raises a little bit of an alarm. It's a bit of a red flag because the match won't know what you might actually look like all the time. And it's just low effort. And you definitely are not making your match feel something by taking a bunch of selfies around the house wearing the same thing. Now, a little bit of a side tip here. If you are going to go out and have a photo shoot, which I highly recommend that you do, grab some friends and just realize if you take good photos, you're going to get more matches. So go do it. But take a few changes of clothing. And definitely don't be in the same area when you take it. This way, those photos are all gonna look like they're taken from different days. You're looking your best all the time, not just on this one day. And girls will be much more likely to match with you if they see a variety. And the good news is in Hooker Heart, we go through exactly how you can take these photos, even if you are by yourself, the variety of photos you should be doing, the poses that you should be doing, just to make it a whole lot easier. Because I personally used to hate taking photos and never really knew what to do in front of the camera. So in Hooker Heart, we go over exactly what you can do. It's kind of like a foolproof guide. And just a reminder, the link for that is down in the description below. But next is to remix the classics, or you could actually call them the cliches. Now, what I mean by this is online dating has been around for a while, and if you've been using it for a while on and off, you may have noticed that some of the exact same bios pop up all the time. Now, we are never going to be using those bios.
Oh, no.
But something that you can do that's a little bit funny is to remix them or just poke fun at these cliches. That's because girls get so sick of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. So if you are standing out and being different and poking fun at the fact that you understand the landscape, you understand the crap that's out there, and you're essentially poking fun of it, you immediately stand out from all those boring plebs. So a cliche that you see all the time is something like 5'11" because apparently that matters. And one of my clients the other day put their bio is 8'6" because apparently that matters. Like, obviously just joking, they're not that tall, and just poking fun at this overdone bio that everyone's seen before. Now, we all know one of the classics, so feel free to put your own twist in it and try to remix it and poke fun at it. Kind of on a similar note, number 9 is to turn the tables. Now, what I mean by this is there are a lot of cliches that you do see from women as well. Now, whether that's an online dating or just like in life in general, sometimes it can be a little bit funny to turn the tables and say something that a woman would usually say. Now, I'm talking about in your bio or in your prompts, but adding something that would typically be reserved for a woman to put on a bio or something. For example, saying something along the lines of, like, I'm not a piece of meat, I'm not gonna be that easy. Or your typical Sunday, you could put like drinks with the girls, or a Sex and the City marathon. Something that's like very clearly a joke and showing that you're not actually like feminine and you're not doing that. It's very, very clear that you're joking, can lead to some really funny openers, and girls will generally have a little chuckle at that. And guys, like, don't be afraid. I know there's gonna be some guy watching this being like, that's not masculine enough. Even being open to poke fun at yourself and turn the tables like this and show that you're obviously not actually doing that in itself is a masculine thing. And guys, if you're sitting around worrying so much about what's masculine and feminine, and if you're like a beta or an alpha, then you are part of the problem. You are most likely a beta. Quick side note, if you guys are on TikTok, you can check out my TikTok where I make fun of a lot of these wannabe alpha douchebags. But give it a go, add something like this in your bio, add some voice prompts, do everything else I've said, and you're gonna amaze yourself with the responses it gets. And finally, number 10, a little bit of a cheap plug here, guys, but if you do wanna start getting more matches literally later today, go and take my quiz down below. You can go ahead and you can upload your Tinder, Hinge, Bumble profile, and myself and my team are gonna give you a breakdown and some personalized feedback on what you can actually do to start getting more matches. You'll run through a series of questions and my team will assess those questions as well, give you some personalized feedback. You can start implementing the changes, and almost everyone starts getting matches immediately following this. The link is down in the description below, or you can go ahead and head to dudehack.com and you'll see that you can take that quiz basically anywhere on the website. And just a bonus on if you want to get more matches, kind of like skip right to that elite level, then you can check out Hooker Heart, which is our video course, which will tell you everything you need to know to absolutely max out your possibilities to get more matches. And better yet, this will help you with what to do after you get more matches. I personally think way too much of the content out there is focused on getting the matches, your photos, your bio, and all that jazz, but arguably the most important thing is what you do after. You all want to meet up with your match, I assume, so having good conversations so you can actually get a date is the most important thing, and at Hooker Heart, we teach you how to make every single conversation lead to a date. So if that interests you, the link is down in the description below, and there is a special introductory price going at the moment. But guys, that wraps it up for the 10 tips that you can implement today to start getting more matches across any dating app. Go ahead and start trying them all today. Put your own twist on some of them. And if you do want more online dating tips, consider subscribing. We're constantly bringing out videos like this. And if you have liked it, go ahead and press the thumbs up button. But that wraps it up for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later.